Hi, my name is Frank Schaeffer. In the 1970s and 80s, I was a right-wing evangelical fundamentalist activist along with my famous evangelist father, Francis Schaeffer. We both spoke at Jerry Falwell's College and Liberty University. We were on the far-right lecture circuit all around America. When my dad died in 1984, I bailed. I changed my mind. I looked at the viciousness of the movement we were helping to found, which later devolved into the Trump presidency and the takeover of the Republican Party by far-right evangelical Christians cast in the so-called pro-life mold which we fashioned. Today, we have a president who, in reacting to every situation that he has helped create, has made it worse. In fact, I would go so far to say, without hyperbole, that the President of the United States, Donald Trump, is a terrorist in the true sense of the word. And I mean that in exactly the same way that bin Laden was a terrorist, that ISIS is a terrorist organization. Think about this. His words have inflamed the passions of right-wing activists who have done everything, including sending pipe bombs to members of Congress, to murdering a black man by kneeling on his neck for 9 minutes in a climate in which racism is tolerated because we have a president who took out full-page ads to falsely accuse young men of rape and attempted murder when they had done no such thing, who started and perpetuated a birther movement to slime the reputation of a man running for president because he was black, and who has since had a policy of revenge against everything that man did, including the decimation of national treasures, our parks, our wildlife sanctuaries. But more than that, Donald Trump is a terrorist cast in the mold of so many terror leaders that hide in bunkers while inciting violence in others. And he has succeeded. Picture the terror felt by a mother at our border seeking asylum in our country, protection from other terrorists in her own country, having her newborn baby ripped from her arms. Picture the terror felt by a young man lying on a floor of a detention center run by ICE as he dies and begs for help and no medical help comes. These are real cases. Picture a president who has terrorized the entire people of Mexico by calling them all rapists and drug dealers. Picture a president who has terrorized consciously, consistently, black NFL players, calling them renegade and unpatriotic for taking a knee to protest violence. Picture a terrorist president who has recently terrorized the high command of the U.S. military by threatening to besmirch the reputation of the U.S. military, in which my son as a Marine served and fought in Afghanistan twice and once in Iraq, by dragging the good name of the U.S. military into a conflict with peaceful protesters. Picture a president who hides in a bunker, then emerges and orders the terrorizing, the beating, the violence against peaceful protesters, including an Australian TV crew. If that is not terrorism, what is? We have a terrorist president built around an entire life of terrorizing those less powerful than himself, taking out ads against innocent teenagers, lying about Barack Obama consistently, lying about black people and Muslims and gay people, creating fear and hate and discord, relying on conspiracy theories of exactly the kind that Al-Qaeda and ISIS trade in to try to maintain his power. Speaking as an Ayatollah in Iran would speak, too passionate fundamentalist Muslims to evangelical Christians and stirring them up again and again into hatred, into denial of their own faith and the love preached by Jesus Christ. Donald Trump is a terrorist. Donald Trump should be dealt with as a terrorist. Donald Trump is trying to deform our electoral process by taking away the right to vote by mail, by encouraging the gerrymandering and the voter suppression of black and minority voters and young people and others, by making it difficult to have an electoral process. And I will tell you this, to assuage his wounded ego if he loses the election, watch what Donald Trump does in revenge on the American people, like Adolf Hitler revenged himself on the German people for losing the war in a scorched earth policy where he said that everything should be destroyed before the Allies and the Russians marched in, to punish the German people for losing the war. Similarly, Trump will leave us with chaos by calling the election rigged, by refusing to leave office, by doing God knows what, this man who calls in the National Guard and federal agents directed by William Barr, this Roman Catholic activist for theocracy, cast in the mold of the Ayatollahs. This is a terror organization that has taken over the Republican Party. Donald Trump is a terrorist. Donald Trump must be defeated, the Republican Party smashed. They are no longer patriotic Americans. This is a terror organization called the Republican Party that has backed and enabled a terrorist president whose entire presidency and lifetime is built on intimidation of other people. My name is Frank Schaeffer.